2024 is the year of epic desert movies.
Oh, man. I mean, I watched Dune 2 Part 2 again a couple days ago, and then I went right into this.
Mm-hmm.
What an
Well,
epic,
that's
epic
the thing,
year.
right? So Dune 2, right? Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. You got Borderlands coming out later this year. Madam Web was... Oh, no, sorry. That wasn't a desert. The theater was deserted. It's different.
Boo! I'm so mad you just made that joke. I'm so mad.
But anyway,
You
the
just
point
did that.
stands. The point
God.
stands. This is the year of epic desert movies.
For those of you who don't know, every time we review a movie, we take turns giving a 15-second summary. Joe has the honor of giving us a 15-second summary of Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. He just got out of the theater. All right, Joe, you have 15 seconds to summarize Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. In 3, 2, 1, go.
As a young girl, Furiosa is in the green place. She's abducted by a biker gang. Her mom tries to rescue her, but she's brutally murdered. The biker gang takes her, but then she's taken by Immortan Joe, and she gets caught in between a war between the two warlords.
Dude, you took your time there. This movie, which I enjoyed, was broken into 5 chapters. I thought that was really cool. Wasn't expecting that. Those 5 chapters, I believe, were called Pole of Inaccessibility, Lessons from the Wasteland, The Stowaway, Homeward, and Beyond Vengeance.
Real quick, just word vomit of like initial impressions. Super cool that we got to see the green place. It was quite abundant. And honestly, like, abundance. Seeing it actually kind of made me a little sad. And I think it's really interesting that we still don't know why it becomes that swampland yet. Maybe it's something that's in the works. I don't know. Chris Hemsworth is Thor-ish, but in a very different, in a very subtly different way that I really appreciated. And honestly, I think he has way more talking lines than Anya Taylor-Joy in this movie, and probably
1000%.
Should be considered the star. I just saying, even though he's not the main character. I mean, he is a main character, right? But not
he has way more speaking
character.
lines. Anya Taylor-Joy has, I think, 30 lines, and her first line isn't even until chapter 3.
Is that for real? It's not till chapter 3?
Yeah, chapter 3 is her first line. So, because the first 2 chapters are like her when she's younger. You know, from a storytelling perspective, I love this. I knew that we were going to get kind of the origin story of Furiosa here. Obviously, the movie's called Furiosa, but I was not expecting to get that much younger, like, girl Furiosa. That scene where the raiders are hijacking the war rig, that scene is like 15 minutes long. Took like 78 days to film.
Wow.
That war rig scene where the raiders at the beginning or in Act 3 when Anya Taylor-Joy is finally on screen. That 15-minute scene took 78 days to film.
Dude, I believe it. There's a lot of complex shots in that.
78 days, and then 200 stunt people, 15-minute action sequence, which apparently is like one of the biggest ever.
Oh no, you can see it too. You know what's funny about that in particular? Like that scene sticks out for like a lot of reasons. One, because of how long it is.
Yeah.
But the scene itself, it felt to me, it was like, it reminded me a little bit of Fast and the Furious 1, where they're trying to steal from the semi, right?
Oh, this is amazing.
It reminded me of that scene, and I was like, you know what? This is what they wanted that scene to be like in Fast and the Furious 1.
This is what Fast and Furious
This is what they wanted it to be like.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. And like 20 some odd years later, George Miller did it the right way.
The right way.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, but that scene was so great, and I was reading too that Anya Taylor-Joy and George Miller would have conversations about that scene, and he was explaining to her why the scene had to be this long, and his answer was because the audience like needs to understand how resourceful Furiosa is.
I enjoy this movie, even though I don't think I don't think I enjoyed it as much as Fury Road. I think Fury Road like is ambitious in a very different way and covers a lot of ground. This movie is, as far as like its characters go, like it feels like the story it's trying to tell is a lot simpler, right? This like quest for revenge, and in doing so, it takes these two characters and it pits them against each other, and we're able to like examine them through that journey, right? And what I really enjoy about that is like toward the end of this movie, we have Dementis like arguing like, the whole like hero villain thing, like we're not so different, you and me, Spider-Man. Like always that. But they really are diametrically opposed in a lot of ways. As you just pointed out, she's a really quiet character. The way she's written, she's very meticulous. She's always thinking about like down the road, whereas like Dementis is exactly the opposite, right? He's a very smart character, but he's very short-sighted, right? Yeah. He thinks about like what's directly in front of him and like how to problem solve like right then and there, and like he's the opposite of a quiet character, right? Like you always know what he's thinking about. He's always talking. I love that they are polar opposites, right? But I guess in their quest for revenge, maybe they aren't so different, right? And I guess that's the point he tries to make at the end, which that scene at the end where they are just talking to each other is probably my favorite scene in the entire movie.
Oh, yeah. That's so well done.
Overall, like I had a great time watching Furiosa. I thought it was a really fun ride. I think maybe this is just a personal thing for me. Revenge stories, I feel like the story is always in the last like 5 minutes, and everything for the revenge story is the build up. This didn't really deliver me anything different that I've seen. And as we pointed out before, it even does like the stereotypical of like, we're not so different, you and I, which like, right. I am so tired of that conversation. Yeah. Writers, get your people to say something different. I'm sorry. Like, no more. We're not so different. I think as far as revenge stories go, I enjoyed the world building that we got out of this revenge story.
Yeah, agreed.
Like seeing the Bullet Farm, seeing Gastown, and like the way that like that their war was starting. I wish we got to see a little bit more of the war. But the way that it started and then the way it ends. Awesome. So yeah, that aspect of it I really enjoyed. Some parts that I thought were a little like lackluster. So Praetorian Jack, cool name. By the way, the moment you see this guy, you're like, okay, well, like, this is the love interest because this is the only handsome man in the entire world. It's just so true. It's just a world of uggos, and then this one man, this one bastion of handsomeness.
Yeah. Plus, he's got the black paint on his forehead, which we all knew to be a Furiosa thing from Fury Road. And so you see that too, and you're like, okay, this is about to be some kind of storyline because clearly this is where she gets her war paint from.
After watching this in Dune, I'm wondering, like, is it just a cheat code to like shoot in the desert? Can you just like create beautiful images like that easily? I know it's not. I know they have talent, but like, damn, do they make it look effortless? This movie made me wonder, like, how much of Furiosa's like backstory was originally supposed to be part of Fury Road,
So originally he wanted to film, they were supposed to film them both, I think, at the same time. And it was supposed to come out back to back. And then when they started pre-production for both for both of them, they decided to just do Fury Road the first time. So it wasn't until pre-production, because I think going into pre-production, they're like, we're going to do 2 movies back to back. They had a plan. We have a plan. And then they started pre-production, they're like, holy shit. There's no fucking way. Because if you think about both movies, you're like, yeah, no shit, you can't do both back to back. Like, it took them 78 days for War Rig scene. Like, they're not filming both these movies.
It makes sense when you think about it. Like, when you think about this film, like, there's just so many parts of it that feel like that maybe they should have been in Fury Road. Like Like the
Right.
very beginning with like the green place, you know? Or
Yeah.
should is a strong word. That they could have been in Fury
Right.
Road. Like the beginning with the green place.
Just
I
for
think,
context.
Like,
right.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like that feels like that absolutely could have been in the original movie, in the last movie, right?
Let's score it.
All right, let's do it. I'm giving it a 3.
Oh
Fight
my
me.
god.
Fight
Are
me.
you serious? A 3?
Yeah, I'm giving it a
Dude,
3.
You
All right.
didn't even like, you were just like, it's a 3. Good night.
See ya. I'm giving it a 3. Here's the thing. I enjoyed the heck out of this movie. I really had a fun time with it. I stand by what I said earlier. I think prequels really do have a hard time creating
Joe
something
sucks.
that's like not an artificial conflict, right? Like you kind of know where everything's going. Revenge stories are overly simple to the point of like, again, you know where it's going. So it's got both of those things working against it. There was one other thing that bothered me about it. I can't recall what it was, but anyway, overall, it's not enough for me to say that this movie's bad. By no means is it bad. It's a good movie. Anything
Should
I have
people go
against
see it in theaters?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, great.
For the war rig scene alone,
Great.
go
Good.
see it in theaters. Nick?
Definitely got to see it in theaters, 100%. Worth going to twice in theaters, in my opinion. I loved this movie. George Miller crushed it. As you mentioned, Simon with cinematography, fantastic. Anya Taylor-Joy, amazing. Chris Hemsworth, amazing. They took 78 days to film a damn 15-minute action scene. Like, you have to go see this in theaters. It's fantastic. I'm giving it a 4.2. It's great. It's a really solid score, way higher than Joe. That's a review.